going to tell you guys a story about me, my grandmother, and my mother, and an ill-fated road trip. When I was about 10 years old, we went to San Francisco to visit my uncle, who's a free spirit, moved there many years ago, and my family loves to travel. But I'm sure as many of you know, traveling with a large family with lots of different personalities and age groups can be great, but also horrible, because everyone's got a lot of different needs. So at a certain point of this road trip, my mom, my nana, and myself decide, you know what, we're gonna take the rented minivan and we're gonna go do our own thing, have our own adventure. I was a very cautious child. I didn't like not having a plan for anything. And so this was a little bit out of my little 10-year-old comfort zone. We get in the car. We decide to go down to the Winchester Mansion. Has anyone heard of that? With like the woman who like made all of these different crazy stuff to make the ghosts I'm not gonna tell it well, but you can look it up. So we went to this Winchester Mansion. Really cool tour. I'm a nerd for historical stuff. I loved it. And we get back in the car, it's getting late, to head back to San Francisco. And we're trolling along. And again, this was before cell phones were really, worked really well. And so at a certain point, we all kind of have this moment where our heads are all kind of cocked and we go, I feel like we should have been there by now. And so we continue driving and we see a road sign up ahead. And so we go, okay, well, let's just shine the light on that and see what it says. San Francisco, 100 miles. That doesn't seem right. I feel like maybe we took a wrong turn. So trying not to panic, because like I said, I like to have a plan, we decide to go up ahead a little bit further to find someone who can give us directions. All right, if anyone has ever traveled on the coastal highway, it is dark, it is desolate. We find a little inn that looks like it's been abandoned, but is actually open. Abandoned to the point where my little nerdy self's immediate thought when I got out of the car was, oh, this is like a Twilight Zone episode. Maybe Rod Serling will come out of the bushes and tell us what lesson we're gonna learn today. And so we trot up to the front of the building. We walk inside, and we're like, oh, my mom's a teacher, so she's very taking control of the situation. She goes, oh, hello, we're a little bit lost. Can anyone help us with directions? A very interesting looking woman came out of the darkness from a back room that looked like a cavern and said, oh, you're all lost, are you? And me and my nana at this point are like, okay, when do we run? Is there like a signal for when we should run now? Or my mom, again, very calm, cool under pressure, third grade teacher. It's like, well, we just need a little bit of help. You know, we took a wrong turn. We're from out of town. We just need some help getting back on the road. Okay, well, you're gonna wanna go the other direction and just keep driving. Okay, great, thank you. We just busted out of there. So we're a little freaked out at this point, and everyone's trying to keep each other calm, but internally you can tell the energy is a little bit tense. At a certain point, my poor mother, who's always had a small bladder, really needs to go to the bathroom. And the only thing we could do was pull over. My mother, like me, does not like to be athletic. But let me tell you something. I have never seen that woman move so fast in my entire life. She jumped out of the car, ran into the woods, and a few moments later, I hear this blood-curdling scream. And I was like, oh my gosh, the Twilight Zone, they got her. Oh my gosh, what's happening? And my nana, she's like, oh my gosh, Mary. My mom jumps back in the car. I saw eyes, there's eyes in the woods, drive. So I was hysterically laughing at this point because at a certain point in a misadventure like this, you just kind of give up and just go with the flow. So we finally get everyone calmed down, and we do eventually, after a couple more hours, make it back to San Francisco. And what I find really charming about this story is who among us really remembers the vacations that went perfectly, that you planned perfectly, that everything was done really well? No one. Everyone remembers the crazy stories that all these years later, you still tell at Christmas time. And that's the kind of stuff I live for. So even though my family is big and loud and diversely crazy in their own ways, we always have good stories. And that's what it's really all about. Thank you, everyone.